It's painful to say, but the Central Division is up for grabs again, huh?
It doesn't seem like anybody wants to win it, you know that? The Vikings went into today's game with New Orleans knowing that a win could put 2 games between themselves and their nearest NFC Central foe if things worked out. But the Saints got a little lucky and showed why they are a vastly improved team, beating the Vikes 17-16. And now things really get tight in the NFC Central Division. We'll look at the standings in a bit, but first the highlights. It was a rough day for the Vikings, a lot of injuries, including Dave Casper, who left early with a hamstring pull. Benny Ricardo made it 3-0 Vikes, but New Orleans came back on Wayne Wilson's up-and-over touchdown. That made it 7-3 Saints. Then in the second quarter, the Vikes went back on top. Steve Dills to Tony Galbraith, a 5-yard touchdown, 10-7 Vikings at that point. In the third quarter, it was 10-all when Benny Ricardo nailed a 28-yard field goal to give the Vikes a 13-10 lead. The Saints just kept on coming, though. Wayne Wilson again, this time way up and over. And New Orleans took a 17-13 lead. But the Vikings scored again. Another Ricardo field goal from 33 yards made it Saints 17, Vikings 16. Then the Vikings got the ball back when Hokie Gajuan fumbled. Dennis Folks recovered for the Vikes, and they had a chance to win it. With time running out, Benny Ricardo, leg cramps all day long. He lines up for a 47-yarder. Plenty on it, but it's wide right. New Orleans holds on to win 17-16, a heartbreaker for the Vikings, who now must travel to Detroit Monday night and battle for first place. Now let's check the rest of the NFC Central scores. Detroit, that's the game Thursday. They bombed Pittsburgh 45-3. Tampa Bay and Houston went at it for the battle of next year's #1 draft choice. Tampa Bay won it. Chicago surprised everybody, beat San Francisco 13-3. And in overtime, Atlanta 47-41 over Green Bay. Let's check the Bears game first. They got some great defense, great offense too. Jim McMahon found Dennis McKinnon wide open behind the 49ers defense. McKinnon went in for a score, a 49-yard touchdown pass, and the Bears beat San Francisco. Now the Packer-Atlanta game. That was Gary Ellis tying it up with 4 seconds to play in a short run. Then in overtime, Kenny Johnson got his second interception return for a touchdown, picking off Lynn Dickey's pass deep in Green Bay territory, and Atlanta won in overtime 47-41. Here's the NFC Central standings now. The Vikings and Detroit tied on top. They'll go at it Monday night. Green Bay and Chicago tied for second place, and Tampa Bay in the cellar at 2-11. It was another wild Sunday around the rest of the NFL. There were a couple of surprises, but if this season has proved one thing, at least to me, it's that you never know what is going to happen. Let's go to the scoreboard. Washington beat Philadelphia today to clinch a playoff spot, 28-24. The Jets over New England, 26-3. Cleveland bombed Baltimore, 41-23. The Rams big over Buffalo, 41-17. The Raiders beat the Giants, 27-12. San Diego over Denver, 31-7. And Kansas City and Seattle, where they're having a real defensive show there, 48-45 in the fourth. Monday night, it'll be Cincinnati taking on Miami. Anyone who's played golf probably knows what a skin game is, but for those who don't, it simply means playing for a certain amount of money on each hole, and if anyone ties in your foursome, the amount carries over and is added to the next hole. Easy, right? Well, maybe when you're playing for quarters, but not when Jack Nicklaus, Gary Player, Arnold Palmer, and Tom Watson go at it. This is Palmer from way out for birdie. And I'll tell you what, he made that putt. It was worth $100,000 because of all the carryovers. A little bit later, more carryovers, more money. Gary Player sinks it, $150,000 for one hole. Gary Player won it. He finished with $170,000. Palmer was second with $140,000. Neil Broughton was in the doghouse before the start of last night's North Star Toronto game. Broughton missed the team's chartered flight to Toronto and wound up paying his own way to Canada, arriving late, but in time for the game. It's a good thing he did, because Broughton scored 3 goals to give the Stars an exciting 7-6 overtime win after they trailed 6-3. They'll host Pittsburgh Tuesday at the Met. Here's Broughton's game winner last night. Early in overtime, Neil got the puck at mid-ice. He got into the Toronto zone just over the blue line, and he blasted a slap shot past Mike Palmatier. A North Star victory. The Stars now lead the North Division by 3 points. The Gopher basketball squad got their season off to a pretty good start last night at Williams Arena. They didn't exactly play great defense, but came up with 93 points on offense. That puts their record at 1-0 heading into tomorrow night's game with Indiana State at the U. But bad news, sophomore guard Mark Wilson went out of the game with a hip pointer. He'll miss tomorrow night.
Oh, that is too bad. Is that going to be a painful loss for them?
Well, they're looking to him to score a few points this season, and they don't have a lot of depth. He's only a sophomore, but he played a lot last year. They're going to miss him.
Okay, it's too